Today was a typical day for a salesperson. So I spent pretty much the whole afternoon calling on leads. So these are people that have gone to our website and downloaded some information about, Dale Carnegie, or on a particular topic that they found to be interesting. And so I'm following up with all these leads and stuff, and trying to connect with them. And, some of them I'm able to connect with, some of them not. But the point that I was trying to make today was, so often people seek the information, right? They go out and they find and they look for the information. And in 2017, there's information everywhere. So we're all overloaded with information. And so the information is everywhere. Okay, now I granted that most people don't even do that, right? Most people don't even go out and look for the information. Okay, so if you at least are a seeker of information, kudos to you. Okay, and that's what most of these leads were doing this afternoon. But what happens though is most people seek the information, okay, and in their minds they think they got the education, right? Just because they got the information doesn't mean you got the education. And so let me give you an example. Years ago, I can remember being on I was on a trip with a colleague of mine. And this is one of the smartest people that I know, okay, this colleague of mine. And this particular individual had a very high level director position and had done very well for themselves. And so I was pulling out a leadership book that I was reading on the airplane, and the person takes it out of my hands and they flip through it real quickly and they say, "Oh, that's all common sense. I already know all that stuff." And so I just kind of laughed at them. And years later, what happened to this individual is they'd been promoted a couple different times. Okay, they got into higher level positions, and what happened was they got to that level, but the job was too big for them, okay? The job had gotten too big for them. They didn't continue to evolve. They didn't continue to develop those skills that they needed to grow into that position. And they ultimately lost their job, okay? And so the reason I bring this up is because this person, okay, showed me that day when they flipped through the book kind of flippantly, right? Pardon the pun. But when they went through the book kind of flippantly and said, "Oh, that's all common sense. I already know all that." In their minds, they already had all the information, right? But they didn't have the education. And it ended up costing them in the long run, okay? And so nowadays, information is everywhere. But most people are, if you are one of those who are getting the information, but you're not taking that information and developing it into an actual education. Okay, so an education is really where you take information and you turn it into some type of skill development. All right, let me give you another example. I used to work in higher education, and there was a lot of times people would go online, fill out a request for more information. We would send them some type of information, and those people would never go beyond that information. They would never come in and visit the school. They would never ever start school. But in their minds, okay, by just seeking and getting that information, to them, that was a step in the right direction. So they could go back and tell their friends and family, "Yeah, I'm thinking about going to school." But all they really ever did was get some information about going to school. Okay? Now, you got to take it a step further, right? You got to get the information and then turn it into an education by applying whatever it is that you're looking to, whatever skill it is you're looking to develop. And so it's just, today's is one of those days where I see it so often that people are getting the information, but they're not turning that information into a true education. And the only way you can get the education along with the information is when you take that information, whatever it is that you've learned, and then you start applying it, all right? You must apply the information that you get, all right? So if it's a new sales strategy, you must apply it so you can learn how to turn it into a skill, and then you actually got the education that then delivers results for you. And And so most people just stop at getting the information, and they never turn that information into an education where it actually benefits them. Because the only way you can turn it into an education is if you take the information that you've learned and you start applying it. Taking the skills, whatever they are, it could be in communication, it could be leadership, it could be sales, it could be baseball for all that, for that matter, right? You can't get information about how to swing a bat, all right, and never actually go out and apply the information where you actually start swinging the bat, so you can turn that information into an education and then ultimately a skill. And so today it was just on my mind. I wanted to share that this post with people. If you just take a look at what you're doing in your life, okay? Again, we're all on information overload. There's information everywhere. But let me ask you, are you developing your skills where you're taking that information and actually truly turning it into an education that's profitable for you? Okay? Where you're making money from that information and that education. And we call it in Dale Carnegie Training application, all right? So you're taking that information, you're applying it, which means you're turning it into an education, and then eventually turning it into results. And that's my advice for today. Just don't go out and seek all this information. I would rather see you seek less information and actually apply the information that you've learned and turn it into something that leads to better results for you. And that's my goal. That's always our goal in Dale Carnegie Training, is we just don't want to give you the information. We want to give you some information and then ask you to practice what we've taught you so you can turn it into something that you know, that becomes skill development that leads to better results for you, right? And that's what we're all seeking to do. Whenever you go out and you seek new information, you're looking to learn something new so you can turn it into a skill that leads to better results for you. And the only way you can do that is by applying whatever it is that you've learned. So that's my advice for today. I hope you found some value in this video today. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Also, share it with other people. Go to Brian Willett Group and like my Facebook page as well. And look forward to speaking with you soon. Make it a great day. And thank you for those who joined me today.